The reason that you would apply a pretreatment is if you need a creative or a contrasting effect, or if you want to use our pre-aging to give it an aged look without actually taking years and years to age the wood. We'll also talk about fumed in here. So let's dive into the first one, which will be Precolor Easy. Precolor Easy is a water-based stain. What's unique about Precolor Easy is that it's formulated to make sure that the molecular bonding technology of Oil Plus 2C is not hindered. So there's other stains that you apply that can go in and they fill the wood grain, and Oil Plus 2C isn't able to molecularly bond to that. Precolor Easy ensures that that is not the case. It's available in 14 different colors. You can mix those as well. It has a color called Mint White, which is used to offset the red in red oak. If someone wants to make it look a little bit more like a white oak color. If you're familiar with color theory, red and green are on opposite sides of the color spectrum. So if you have something red and you introduce green to it, it's gonna pull it back to neutral. So that's the idea behind the mint white color. Intense black is a very popular color. It gives a very black look to it. That's what we're gonna apply today.
Yeah, so if you're looking for like a piano black kind of color, you're not gonna be able to achieve that with Oil Plus 2C. With the Oil Plus 2C, the charcoal is the darkest color that we have, and still you are able to see the grains of the wood. So if you're looking for a piano black, you just go with the Intense Black Precolor Easy, and then you can use a black on top or charcoal, and it's going to give you the piano black kind of look.
And if you wanted to have a ceruse look, which is the opposite of the complementary look, you want the contrasting look, you can apply, you can create a ceruse with anything, but in this case, you would apply Intense Black, and then you choose a lighter color like white or white 5 to go over top. That's going to fill in the soft grain. And on this piece, we actually wire brushed it to kind of scoop out some of the soft grain. It's just going to work to further enhance the look. So we'll put some oil on after we get all this on, and we've chosen dark colors for pre-treatments. We'll put a light oil on, though you can choose any combination of pre-treatment color and oil color. So let's dive into the application.
Yeah, so 14 colors Precolor Easy. You can use any of the 40 colors Oil Plus 2C on top of this. So combinations are endless. Application of this, very simple. We're gonna use a Precolor applicator. The idea is to apply evenly. You can get a lap mark with this, it's a water-based stain. So we apply evenly, then we're gonna go over it with the red pad, and the reason is to push the stain into the wood and also to knock down the grain a little bit. And then we're gonna go over again with a moist rag to even it out. So now Keith is just applying the Precolor Easy Intense Black. Now we're gonna go over with a red pad so we can even it out and also knock down the grain. Best is to go in a circular motion like he's doing it. And then we're gonna go with the moist rag just to even it out and remove those scroll marks from the red pad. So the idea again here, with the black, we can intensify a color, so you can intensify a black that we have on Oil Plus 2C, or you can do a two-tone effect or cerusing effect. As Keith said, we're gonna try to apply a lighter color on top of this intense black, so you can see a cerusing effect and a two-tone afterwards. So that's Precolor Easy.
The other option that we have is Pre-Aging. Is a water-based stain as well. However, it has a unique proprietary formula to it. And that enables it to actually give the effect of a reactive stain. If you're not familiar with reactive stains, there's some drawbacks to them. They give really cool colors, and if it's what you're going for, it works great. But it's called reactive because it's dependent upon the tannins, the tannin content in the wood, to have a chemical reaction to color and change the wood. If you want unknown and variety, it's a fantastic product. One of the additional drawbacks is that they're not very color stable because they're relying on a chemical reaction to give color. That chemical reaction can actually reverse over time, and the color stability is not good, and so the color becomes faded very quickly, even faster when it's exposed to sunlight. So pre-aging is our solution to that. It gives the look of a reactive stain without being reactive. You can apply it on more species than white oak because the species with the high enough tannin content to create that chemical reaction are so few, you're limited to very few species, white oak being the most popular. But if you're working with a species that doesn't have high tannin content, you can still use pre-aging. If you were to put a tannin reactive on 2 boards of white oak from the same exact tree, you could get 2 completely different colors. So it's completely unknown what you're gonna get. Again, entirely based on the tannin content. Sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not. So pre-aging enables you to have a much more consistent and known color across any species that you use, across multiple boards. It's going to retain that. It's also a lot more color stable, so the fading over time is not going to happen. So pre-aging, it's a fantastic product.
Yeah. So right here, we're gonna apply one of the colors. So it comes in 10 colors. It's a variation of grays and browns. Like Keith said, you're gonna get a more even look with the pre-aging other than, the reactives. With the reactive, this board over here can have, a different level of tannic acid content than this one. So you're gonna have a more variation on a board or on the floor or on a table.
We have the 10 colors: fumed intense, fumed light, smoke intense, smoke light, which mimic very traditional like ammonia reactive products and tannin reactive products. And then we have authentic 1 through 6. All of those colors can be intermixed, and you can come up with your own creative custom colors from there as well. And then just like Precolor Easy, you can put any oil plus 2C color over top and really have endless possibilities.
And again, all these products are all zero VOC, water-based. Application of the pre-aging is a little bit different than the Precolor Easy. We suggest applying with our bristle pad. The difference is, you're going to be able to apply more evenly with this nylon bristle pad than a traditional, Padco pad. So
it's hard to see in the video, but this pad actually has small, like Alan said, nylon bristles that stick out, and those keep the pad proud from the surface, and it helps to regulate the amount of product. This pre-aging, it takes some time to dry. It takes 36 hours to fully dry, and as you watch it dry, it will look weird. It will look blotchy, but that is just the technology going in and giving it that tannin reactive look, which is not consistent. It looks different around the grain and in different areas. And so with the way that it's formulated, this microfiber bristle pad really helps to get the appropriate amount of product on and make sure that you're not putting on too much and giving it a hard time with drying and curing.
Yeah, the great thing about the pad also, is reusable. So once you're done with the project, you can just wash it and keep it for the next one. So again, this is the color called Filmed Intense. So it's gonna give you the filmed look in a very, very dark gray. So easy to apply. Once this is done, that's pretty much all you have to do. Just wait it and let it dry. As Keith said, it takes 36 hours for it to dry, and then you can apply any color oil plus 2C on top of this to get you intensified color gray, or you can do a Ceruzzi effect with any of the color of oil plus 2C, any of the 40 colors. So once we're done the application of this on this board, we're gonna let it dry, and 24 hours, 36 hours later, we're gonna apply oil plus 2C on top of it. So you guys are gonna see the effect of it.
Okay, so it's been about 24 hours. Our pre-treatment panel is dry and ready to go. Both of the products that we applied, remember this is Intense Black, Precolor Easy. This is Fumed Intense, Pre-Aging. They're both water-based colors, so the grain does pop. If you recall, we applied this product, Precolor Easy, with a red pad, and during application, that helps to knock down some of the fibers. The remaining standing grain will just knock down with the red pad as we apply oil plus 2C. When we come over to the pre-aging pad, remember this is just water-based, and we have only applied it with the microfiber bristle pad. We have not used a red pad, so we're actually going to take a maroon pad and just very lightly come over the top of everything. And again, this is not intended to pull off any of the stain color. We just want to very lightly knock down the bristles from the raised grain. Then you take a vacuum, pull that off, and now we're ready to proceed with our application. So we're going to tape off the panel, and we have 2 different colors because you've heard us say complementary or contrasting effects a lot. So we're going to apply black and then we're going to apply white 5%, and we'll show you what the difference is in how we get that complementary or contrasting effect.
Yeah, so again, yeah, Precolor Easy, 14 colors, and then Pre-Aging, 10 colors. The reason we're going to do, the black on top of black is just to show you guys how to intensify, a black color. If you're looking for like a piano black, color, that's how you get it. And that's going to go over, everything, not just the Precolor Easy, but also on the Pre-Aging.
Haven't really seen it in the wild, but I'm a big fan actually of the fumed intense with black over it. I think it's actually quite a nice look, if you will. And then of course in the middle, we'll just have black on raw white oak. So the oil plus 2C application is the exact same thing. Again, we discussed why we are using the red pad here, but we're just going to drive it into the grain. We'll allow it the 5 minutes to sit. There's quite a bit on here, so I'm just gonna work on pulling some off right now so that there's less that comes off on the rag.
Yeah, one thing is the application over the Precolor Easy, it can be done with a red or a white pad. The white pad, it's a little better for the Precolor Easy, but it can be done with the red as well. And the Pre-Aging is better to do with the red pad instead of the white. So red pad for Pre-Aging, white pad for Precolor Easy for the application of the oil. So intensify color. So now we're applying the white 5% over the black and over the Pre-Aging. So you guys are gonna see, the two-tone cerusing effect that you can get by doing this. You guys notice that we're using the sample size. Remember, it's a 2-component oil, but just for doing samples, you don't need to use the accelerator, okay?
Just call out again that we did wire brush this panel. So we pulled out the soft grain, and the reason why we chose white 5%, the color names that say 5% in them, it has about half of the pigment load as the parent color. So we have super white, which is about double the pigment load of white, and white 5% has about half the pigment load. The reason we chose that on this is because all of our colors essentially have pure in it, and then you have the pigment load. So when we're going for a cerused effect, you apply white 5%, it has a little less pigment than white. So the pigment is going to collect and pool in the soft grain, and it won't stand out as much on the hard grain. So it just really helps accent the ceruse and the contrasting effect that we have going on. All right, so here you can see the final panel. Again, this is the Precolor Easy, this is the Pre-Aging. We applied black on the lower half and white 5% on the upper half. So here you go. The sheen kind of gives it some different looks. It's fresh oil as well. But if you're able to see that, you can see some nice contrast, especially where you see a lot more of the soft grain. It really pops out well right there. So that is our pre-treatment options. Thanks so much.
Thank you.